Alright, back to my fireside chats here in Wallace. That's a very interesting cloud formation. I'll get some still photographs of that later. But, I've been fasting 17 hours today so far, which is typically on the high end of my fasting. Usually I do 15 to 16. But last night, I had a really bad nightmare about my eating disorder again. I just recorded a video this morning, actually. And when I got up, I almost couldn't look at food anymore. I wanted to vomit when I thought about food. I lost count. At one point, I had a count of how many times I've had nightmares about eating disorders or anything food related. Because that's my most common nightmare, aside from the common ones, right? Like being caught naked or caught cheating in some regard, or what else? I always get a nightmare of hanging from a high place for some reason, right? Let's say we look at the building, the apartment that I'm living at. I'll dream that my arms are just hanging in place and I'm gonna fall. I've had that a few times, but nothing as common as the eating disorder one. I must have had that one dozens of times. And go watch my video about what led up to that, because I'm going to continue off where I left off. I had a student who really frustrated me, and for many months after that, I was very resentful that he didn't see that I just wanted to finish my dinner. He was 30 minutes early to coming to my office hours, and I got really resentful. In my mind, I wanted to do things to him that well, I don't want to talk about it on the camera, but in my mind, I've done things to him. And then COVID happened, and when I first heard about COVID, because I feel invincible. COVID's not something that's going to affect me. I remember thinking that it was like his punishment. I was so angry at the time. Only recently have I come to terms with the idea that maybe he just didn't recognize that I wanted to get to my dinner. In my mind, it was so obvious, though. It was so obvious. And when he said he wanted to drop the course, in my mind, I was probably thinking, you're going to drop a course because you came 30 minutes early and I can't have my dinner? That's what went through my mind. I wasn't thinking logically anymore. And I had an eating disorder. I have a recovering eating disorder now. I still have to be careful about it. And that's why I have dreams about it instead. And unfortunately, it looks like my eating disorder pendulum has swung completely the other way now, and it's just really insane sometimes. Oh, God, I hate the concept of eating now. I was just about to break the fast, and then I got a really disgusting feeling of, oh my God, I might lose my job or get angry at somebody, or road rage, or at the beginning of COVID, I had gone out to a grocery store to look for my favorite sausage, and obviously it was out. People were buying anything they could. This was back in middle of March. And what was really funny was that I didn't have any toilet paper, but it didn't seem to bother me. And I went to several stores looking for the sausage. It was a kielbasa. And what was really nice was a couple nights ago, I was just about to prepare dinner when I realized I didn't have one of my favorite ingredients, and it didn't bother me. I thought this is an opportunity to try something new. And that didn't bother me at all, so I'm pleased. What makes me a little bit concerned is that sometimes in the middle of a day, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'll get a food craving. And that's concerning to me, because, if I'm sitting at home and we're quarantined anyway, okay, fine. And nobody's panic shopping, fine, I can get it. But one of these days, I'm not going to be so lucky anymore. It's going to be in the middle of a meeting, when it might be in the middle of a panic situation, right? We might have rioting, and I'm going to risk my life to go out to get food, Or you look at what happened to George Floyd. Imagine if I were being wrongfully detained and I had a food craving. I cannot imagine the result of that. So I get very nervous when I get a food craving, especially if it comes out of nowhere. I mean, if it comes just as I'm picking up the fork, okay, that's understandable. But sometimes in the middle of talking to you guys on YouTube, or in the middle of, sometimes in the middle of sex, right? You get the idea. In an inappropriate situation to be thinking about food, I'll be thinking about it. And I guess I still need to, even though it's been 11 months, I still have a few edges to sort out on my eating problems. And I also have to make sure the pendulum doesn't swing all the way to the other end as well. Thanks for watching.